Hi everyone. So as we move into the second week of staying at home due to this pandemic we're all going through at the moment, I figured some parents may be struggling with ways to help their children play. And so, as I said in my previous video, the more we entertain our children, the harder it will be for them to find their own flow and their own rhythm with playing and playing independently. So today I wanted to talk about what is play and how we as parents can foster independent play. So play is something that is motivated from within. It's think about something that you do just for joy, just because you enjoy doing it, not for a specific outcome, not to make money, not for any accolades, just because you enjoy doing it. And you get into the flow of it and time seems to disappear. That's what play is for our children. It's their way of getting into flow and into enjoying their inner world, which they create on the outside through their play. It also helps them to process feelings. It helps them to have social interactions when they're playing with other children. And it helps them to practice many skills. They also model what they see going on around them in the adults and the caregivers they have around them. So many amazing things happen during play. So the first thing is to recognize that play comes from within your child. Therefore, if we're always leading the play, if we're always creating the play, if we're always initiating it, it's not coming from within the child, it's coming from us. So what could we do as parents? Like I said in another video, I believe it was the one before this one, sit with your discomfort of trying to fix it for them, trying to fix their boredom. Just hold space for them. Hold this energy of, you can figure this out, you can do this. You can be bored too, there's nothing wrong with that either. And just sit around doing nothing. When we can change that energy that we have around us having to lead everything in their lives and allowing them the space and the time, because it might take a long time of you having to sit with that discomfort and not jumping in to fix it. It may take them a while to get there, especially if they're used to us entertaining them, if they're used to being on screens for a long time. That means they're used to that instant gratification. They're used to the stimulation. They're not used to doing it on their own, coming up with it from their own imagination. So that's the first step, is allowing them the space and the time to get into that flow of play. The next thing that we can do as the parents and the adults in their lives is to create the environment that invites them to play. First of all, many children have way too many toys. So I really encourage everyone to take a look at the toys that their children have. 10, 15 different choices is more than enough. The more choices they have, the harder it can be to get started. I would clean out any toys that are broken, give them away, or throw them away if no one can use them, quite frankly. We always say we're going to fix them. This used to happen to me, but I don't want to throw something away. It creates more trash for the environment. I'm going to fix it. And I would never get around to fixing it. So if you do think that way, think about it before you buy the toy. Is this a toy that's going to last for a long time? Is it a good quality toy? Is it open-ended that's going to serve my child's play? And if it isn't, then don't buy it in the first place. That's one way to get around that. So encourage your child to help you. You know, you'll be surprised at how much they're willing to get rid of, and to, you know, encourage that you're giving these away to children that don't have as many toys. And the ones that are broken, we're throwing them away because they're no longer working. I would also encourage all parents to try to either get rid of or really limit the toys that have bells and whistles, you know, the electronic toys that give the instant gratification and the stimulation, which again is coming from the outside instead of coming from within their imagination, and they're creating that in their play. So do the best you can to get rid of those as well. And in my opinion, the best toys you can use or you can have around for your children are open-ended toys, meaning you could use them for lots of different things. So if you have play food in the kitchen area that actually looks like a piece of broccoli, that could be very limiting to their imagination, because some children may get stuck in that it's a piece of broccoli. And so that piece of broccoli can't be anything else. But if you have stones or little branches, little twigs, or cotton balls, right? Then that can become any type of food. Right? They could use their imagination to create many different meals with those things. And then later on, if they're in building with their blocks, those same pieces that were food can now be people or animals or cars or airplanes. So that's what I mean by open-ended, something that is not fixed in what it is representing, and the child can use their imagination to create many different things with it. So another suggestion, so we've talked about open-ended toys, we've talked about keeping it simple in the sense of less is more. Another thing you can do is create zones. So for example, if your child has a little kitchen, put it near the kitchen so that when you're cooking, your child could also be near you, or at least at an eye's view, to cook. Because remember, they like to model what the adults are doing. So if they're not cooking with you, they can at least cook in their kitchen by you. They also like to know that we're in their space, so just being in an eye's view gives them that feeling of safety, that they're near us, but they could still be doing their own thing and we could be doing our own thing. So keep that in there, and you don't have to have a real play kitchen. It could be a box that you turned upside down and you draw 2 circles on, and that's your stovetop. You can give them bowls and a pot that you're not using at the moment, and some spoons to mix with, and they could use some of the real tools from your kitchen. You don't have to go out and buy all new things. So I encourage looking at the toys that they have as also things that model what they see adults doing around them. So a kitchen area, they could have small sized tools to clean up with, a broom, a mop, you know, real cleaning, real little bottles of spray and rags that they could help clean with. They're more than capable. Just make sure you're giving them something that's not toxic and that you're with them when you're doing that type of work. What else? I would recommend blocks because they could build different structures with them. I personally like wooden blocks over the Legos. Sometimes it's hard for them to put the Legos together, depending on their age. But the younger ones seem to do well with blocks. And it also is good that if it falls apart, they practice building it again. So, oh, also large blankets, like king size or queen size flat sheets that they could use to build forts. And ribbons that they could use to tie the fabric to furniture to hold it up. Swaddle size blankets, the kind that we used to bring them home from in the hospital and swaddle them with, that size, are good for wrapping up baby dolls. They can wear them as capes. They can wear them, you know, to dress up. And also having some baby dolls or stuffed animals, both for boys and for girls. And they can have different things to feed them with. They don't have to have baby bottles and real diapers. Again, the blankets could be turned into diapers. The twigs could be turned into baby bottles. So the point is to let them use their imagination. So the more open-ended the toys are, and the less you get involved in their play, the more they'll use their own imagination. Now, all that being said, if a child invites you into their play and says, oh, come, I made some food for you. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying tell them, no, I can't play with you because I'm an adult and I'm not here to entertain you, right? Of course, you can come into their space and pretend to eat the food and have a conversation with them about the food. And then you say thank you and you go back to what you were doing and you give them their space. But there's a difference when they're inviting you to come into their play than when you are starting the play and creating the scenario for them. So be aware of that difference and be conscious of not starting it for them, letting them take the lead. And of course, you can join in with them for some parts of it. But again, be aware of taking over of the play. Step in, connect, and step out. Also, lots of arts and crafts. So lots of different materials that they could experiment with. You know, kids love to get dirty. Most kids, not all kids, most kids love to get dirty. A lot of times the ones that don't like to get dirty, yes, sometimes it comes from them, their temperament, and that's something to work on, or if they have sensory issues. But a lot of times it's because the parents don't like them to get dirty and they've conditioned them to not get dirty. And every time they are dirty, they're wiping them down. So just become aware of that and have arts and craft supplies around. Have glue, have paint, have sand, have mud or dirt that they can use water with to turn into mud. Have water play. If these are things that trigger you because you don't like dirt and you don't like messiness, then find a way that they could still have that experience and you could still feel safe with the level of messiness. So if you have an outdoor space, take those things outside and let them go to town. If you don't have an outdoor space or you can't go outside due to the weather, put out a large tablecloth on the floor and let your child play in the middle of it and teach them that all the paint is going to stay on the tablecloth, and teach them the skills of when they're done painting, they lay the paper down on the tablecloth until it dries, so they're not walking all over the house full of paint and painting on the walls. So it's just a matter of teaching them the skills. Glitter was always a big one for me. You can use a Tupperware and you can have them put their paper, you know, inside of that Tupperware. Get one that's low so they could work over it, and they can pour the glue and sprinkle the glitter and shake off the excess all inside of the Tupperware. And then when glitter time is over, you can just pour it back into the container from the Tupperware. So painting can also happen in the bathtub, right? They can paint, you can get non-toxic washable paint, and they can paint the tiles and then wash them off. And they could be a part of washing it off, and that could be fun. So think of different experiences that your children can have, and be there to create the experience, the environment for them to have these experiences. And it doesn't mean you have to do all of these every single day. You can have, different days where you explore with different materials. Another thing that is very common in some curriculums is to create an invitation with the toys. So for example, when they go to bed or in the morning before they wake up, or even if they're watching you do it, you can lay out some materials in a very inviting way, like a scene, create like a scene, and see if they're interested in doing that. Like you just create it and you step away. You just leave it there for them to find, and they may be interested, then they may not, because it has to come from within them. So it depends on what they're feeling like doing that day. So don't take it personal. Don't think, oh, I didn't do it right, if they didn't become involved, right? If they didn't bite to that little scene that you gave. It's okay. You can leave it there for the next day if you want, or you can take it down and create something new. Or you can ask them to help you create something the night before, something that they might be looking forward to playing the next day. And you can leave it all set up and ready to go. So it also brings a little bit of like magical experience into the play, a little bit of wonder and an excitement or something to look forward to. At the end of the day, that's what play really is having them find that excitement and that joy. And please, 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 I tell all parents, when you see your child in play, deep, deep, deep in their play, don't interrupt them. Let them be. Let them play. They're doing so much work in their brains, in their mind, in their creativity. Just let them be. And let them enjoy those moments of flow. Respect that, just like you would love someone to respect when you're in a moment of flow, to not come and interrupt you. If you have any other questions, anything that you think I haven't answered for you that may be helpful, feel free to reach out. I'd love to hear your questions. I'd love to hear your comments. That helps me also see where you guys are at and what you need and what else I can bring to you. So if you found this helpful, share it with other parents. Leave a comment if you'd like. And like I said, let me know what else I can do to help support you. Thank you for listening. Bye-bye.